Guys, for this month, we have dropped Murdered Midwest subscription to only $5.
That's over 30 bonus content episodes that include famous serial killers.
Like John Wayne Gacy and BTK.
And famous cases like O.J. Simpson, John Benet Ramsey, and Gypsy Rose.
And once you sign up, you'll get access to all of those episodes.
As well as like a new episode every Friday.
And the fastest way to sign up is by going through the link on our Instagram bio.
Click the subscribe to Murder Midwest and watch those locks disappear.
We really appreciate your subscription and your support. Thanks, guys. Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118. I'm Kayla Keith, and this is Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is a mysterious one. A young man disappeared, leaving behind no real clues as to who is responsible, but police are certain that someone knows. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back for another episode of Missing Midwest. We're coming up on 1 year, you know.
I know. It's getting close.
It's getting really close. We're going to have to do something fun.
July 1st is our 1 year anniversary, right?
That's crazy.
That's,
yes. Yeah, because I decided to do it and I announced it on my birthday, March 25th.
Yep.
And then we decided to do it July 1st, our first episode.
True.
We did. And we were camping. And we had already pre-recorded a bunch
that's right. That was kind of fun. We
had like pre-recorded a bunch of stuff. And we had it all scheduled to launch on July 1st. But then when we went camping, we had no signal.
So we had to drive down to the lake.
So we were like panicked, like we didn't know if anybody was listening.
We didn't know if it posted. Like we were like,
we were just, well, that was stupid.
Yeah, because like on our phones in the campground, it wouldn't like show up.
Yeah, so we
had to drive down by the lake, and then
but it got posted.
Service. It did.
And then some of you listened.
Yes.
Thank you for still listening.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, we are coming up 1 year. We've had lots of episodes, lots of cases.
Yep.
Met lots of people.
Yes.
Lots of support. Still going strong. Lots of new ideas coming.
Have learned so much crazy stuff about just like the crime world and like do's and don'ts and how many Dollar Generals are around the Midwest. And
yes, that's true.
Been a wild ride. I love doing this with you. It's fun.
It is fun. We're doing $5 subscriptions.
That's true. That's true.
We have lots of murdered episodes that you can listen to.
Over 35 now. I think yesterday was number 36.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. And yesterday's was wild, man.
Yesterday's was insane.
Yeah. The preface here.
Let's just give a little teaser.
Yeah. So there is only one instance in true crime history where two serial killers came from the same house that did not like do it together.
Yeah, they were like rival serial killer brothers.
Yeah, like the Raines brothers did not work together.
And they didn't like each other.
They're from Kalamazoo, Michigan. They did not like each other.
He had his victims. The other one had his victims. They're like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm the better serial killer. No,
yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. But
no. But
it was nuts.
And it was like...
Stop. You give way too much information when you do things like this.
Okay. I'll stop.
Like if there's a new show, Johnny will just give you a little bit about it, and then he'll proceed to tell you everything about it. So you're done.
That may or may not be true.
Brothers that are serial killers, you need to subscribe to listen if you want to hear anything else.
$5 subscription, and you get stickers.
Yeah. Announcement?
Just real quick, if you do subscribe and you have a hard time, or if you have in the past had a hard time being able to listen to the exclusive episodes, Spotify does not support the exclusive subscription content because they don't make any money on it apparently. And then Apple has kind of put some loops to jump through. You can still do it if you like listening to Apple Podcasts. There's still ways to do it. We'll send you those steps. If you're like, I don't want to do the steps, like every other platform works. iHeartRadio. I think it was like
Amazon Music.
Amazon Music, there's a bunch.
Podchaser.
I think both.
We have a whole list of them.
Yeah, we posted on our Instagram and Facebook like all the different ones that
and with
accept
those
it,
you can just like log it, like open them up and listen to all of them.
Yep. So that's good. So yeah, $5 you get stickers and you get access to over 30 hours of bonus content. It's good stuff.
We talk about murder on that one.
Yep, murdered Midwest. Yeah.
Missing Midwest, murdered Midwest.
We like the. I mean, we cover the serial killers as like
we do,
and murder cases, but serial killers.
And there's so many cases that I still want to do. Like maybe after the 1 year, we'll open up and like go outside of the Midwest for a little bit or something exciting. Maybe we'll do like.
We've had a couple. The OJ case, John Bonet. Like we bounced around on the big cases.
We do what we want because it's
we are
podcast,
the bosses.
So we're the boss.
That's true.
That's true. Anything exciting in our lives we should update them on? I feel like they're our friends. Like I feel like that they know us so well.
Our baby is
really cute.
Extremely cute.
She is
like
cute.
Outrageously cute. She can already have whatever she wants. And
she's 3 months old tomorrow.
That's true.
Yeah, after you hear this, it'll be like a week later. But what? Oh, I had to call. Okay. Oh
my gosh, we don't have time. We don't have time.
I have time.
No.
They want to hear it.
You got to give them like.
I'll do the quick version.
Yeah.
Okay. I had my very first run-in with the law that was less than impressive, and I felt like I identified a little bit more with the families in the cases that we hear about, like when they get met with like the frustrating, like the police don't care type thing. Now, I love law enforcement. I'm not even going to say which department I'm talking about, but I was up. I breastfeed my baby, obviously, and I was up at 6 in the morning, 6:30, actually 6:32, because I'm a crime junkie and I looked at my phone. And I heard a scream, like an unusual noise. And I thought it was one of our kids having a bad dream. And I almost woke Johnny up to tell him. I went and checked on our kids. They were fine. I was tired. Everybody was asleep. I went back to sleep. Well, then our neighbor texted me and was like, "Did you hear something at 6:30 this morning?" I was like, "I did actually. Like, what's going on?" And then Johnny went out to water the garden, and our neighbor had told us there was a bike out in our front yard or our side yard, right by the road, like in the side ditch. And like, I mean, you saw it. You were there. This bike has been hit.
It looks like it's been hit.
The entire,
I would imagine if you got hit by a car, the bike would be in worse shape, but it was hit by something. The front tire was completely bent.
There was a ripped t-shirt in the middle of the road and a women's hair scrunchie. Now, I'm no detective.
Right.
You're not a detective.
I was like, yeah, we need to call the police right now.
Literally, I was like, we have to tell somebody about this, right? And so we did. We reported it. Nobody came. And they finally came at like 4. This was at 9 in the morning-ish. They came at like 4 o'clock that night. And they literally did not even care. Like, they were like... And
that only happens in the movies.
Well, okay. You just ruined my line.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were trying to think of your line.
No.
You look like you were trying to think of it.
When I talked to the guy at first, he didn't seem like it was a big deal. He was like, well, there's no blood. There's no like tire skid marks. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and nobody's been checked into the hospital. Like, I don't think anybody was hit on their bike. And I was like, well, to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about somebody being hit on the bike. Is it looks like somebody got taken from their bike. And I didn't even tell him about our podcast because I knew he would just roll his eyes. I'm just being like this like dumb girl that watches too much true crime. But this police officer literally looked at me and said, "Ma'am, people don't get abducted while riding their bike. That only happens in the movies." To which I literally laughed. And I said, I can name at least 10 cases right now of people that have been taken whilst riding their bike. It's the reason I don't exercise. It's dangerous. You don't go running. You don't ride your bike. That is the reason. And I'm like, respectfully, seriously disagree with you. And he was like, well, if somebody got taken, we would have a missing person report. And I'm like, in what world? Like, I don't know. It was just
less than 12 hours.
It was less than 12 hours. I'm like, if somebody went for a bike ride, like it's not even 5 o'clock yet. Like, people aren't even home from work to know if a family member is missing.
Yeah.
And it just felt very pushed off. The guy just like picked up the bike.
And it's like we both were like, most likely Nothing happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was probably nothing. He told me that, what did he tell us? That somebody probably dumped it. Like, people dump trash in the country, which they do, but not usually like in my hair front yard. And so it just felt like very brushed off. And I was like, can you imagine if you actually had a missing person?
Like, if we have to do an episode on this later, like, bro, this is going to be bad. Yeah.
I'm going to need to know your name. No.
Yeah.
But I ended up like calling. He picked the wrong person to brush off because we called, or I did, because I'm not mean. I don't think it was mean. I feel like it was very necessary. A supervisor, somebody a little bit, a few steps above, and they actually came back out to our house and like, he told us to throw the bike away because it was in our yard.
He said, you can keep it or throw it away.
Keep it or throw it away. I was like,
is he broken bike, sir?
Yeah, I'm like, it just felt really bad to like throw it away and to not do anything. Especially, we live in Amish country, and there are like, first of all, they let like
Let's just not tell everybody exactly where we live.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, they let like 3-year-olds like drive tractors. Like, there's kids that ride bikes every day, young girls, and it was very sketchy. And
it was sketchy for sure.
It was weird, and so it was kind of disappointing how the police handled it, especially with all the true crime that we do. We know nothing. I mean, we're not detectives or anything, obviously.
I like to hope that when the supervisor that we talked to, which is very aware that we do a podcast, called that guy in to tell him like. That was the wrong house to say that nobody ever gets abducted off their bike. At least you can probably say that's the average person, but I literally could tell you 10 people right now that have been abducted just in the Midwest off their bike. So yeah, he probably might have regretted that when he talked to his boss. But yeah, so I called the cops. My wallet got stolen. I think I already told them that. Yeah.
And then, because the weird guy that was selling pictures, that night my wallet got stolen, and then like 2 days later the bike thing happened, and then like just like 2 days ago I witnessed a car accident and I had to call 911 again.
Yeah, everyone
was okay, but it was like 3 times in a week, and I'm kind of done.
That's a lot.
911. So.
I would prefer to go like 10 years without, or forever. How about forever?
Yeah, I was gonna say a really long time without calling 911.
Yeah. Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I'm looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup. They literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They are opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
Tell me about your case. I know nothing about it. We have not talked about it.
I haven't even told. I know. I haven't even.
It's been a busy week.
Sorry, you can just skip through all of that if you don't want to hear us ramble about our week. We'll just put a disclaimer in. The case actually starts at this time.
10:30.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Ads, it'll be later. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So we are going to Wisconsin today.
Wisconsin.
Yes. Watoma, Wisconsin, actually.
Nice.
I know, it was a fun little ring to it. Watoma, where are you from? Watoma, Wisconsin. I like it. Population 2,230, so it's super small.
Greentown, like.
It's Greentown. It's small. They have $1 General, which is located right next to the Piggly Wiggly and the Quick Trip. I Google mapped it. I Google map every single town that we do.
The smaller, the more likely it is that it's getting Google Maps.
I want to know everything about your town. I want to be there.
How many stoplights do you have?
I need to know everything.
How many ice cream stores do you have? Is your gas station cool?
Exactly, and I do that every time. This town is so fun. I have to tell you, I want to go to Watoma, Wisconsin. It is now on my travel bucket list, okay? First of all, it's actually known as the Christmas tree capital of the world.
Whoa, that's enough reason right there.
10,000 acres of Christmas trees come from Watoma, Wisconsin. Also, I'm a small town nerd, okay? I love them. I looked at Google Maps, and so I'm just going to go through. They have so much to offer here in this little tiny town, okay? And I'm just going to go through some of the local restaurants, or not the local restaurants, the local stores for you. I have a list.
I was going to say, there's plural restaurants?
I have a list of these businesses that popped up.
Okay.
And I'm going to read them to you because it literally just sounds so much fun out in Wautoma, Washington, okay? So just on the main road that goes through Wautoma, we have the KRB Real Barbecue Restaurant.
I'm in.
The Milty Wilties Restaurant. Mark's Marine Shop. Shirley's Whatnot Shop. The Horseless Carriage, which is the mechanic, which I love the name. The Wautoma Inn. The Piggly Wiggly. The Quick Trip. The Dollar General. The Antique Liquor and Video Store. Well, sounds great. Pioneer Florist, which I love, a local flower shop. Billy's Bar. 220's Tap House and Grill. The Candle Freak Gallery and Gifts. Cristiano's Pizza. Whistler's Vintage Mall. And last but not least, the A&W. Like, doesn't that just sound like that could entertain you I could live there and never leave?
That sounds like 2 whole days of your summer. Yeah.
It sounds like it has everything I need. I want a vacation to Wautoma.
Relax. Christmas trees, though, I'm in.
It just sounded so much fun. Like, I want to eat breakfast at Milty Wilties, and then I want to go to the
Piggly Wiggly.
The KRB. No, the Piggly Wiggly's a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
The KRB barbecue for lunch, and then go to the 220's Tap House for dinner.
There you go.
It sounds like a great time. And then we can have the Antique Liquor and Video Store. You can get wine and a video there, probably. I don't know.
Want to get some wine and watch Titanic?
Shirley's Whatnot Shop? I need to know what's
You're
there.
not allowed to go there. I just know that you would be a problem there.
Anyway, so the A&W is actually where we're going to start our case today, okay? Our case begins at the A&W on March 6, 2020.
Recent case.
Yep. When 22-year-old John Jake Morgan was supposed to be at work at 10 a.m. at the A&W, but he was a no-call, no-show. Very unusual for him, okay? He went by Jake. It was John Jake Morgan, so I'm going to refer to him as Jake from now on.
Okay.
On March 5th, he worked a shift at the A&W until 5:30 p.m., and he had a friend. I could not find her real name. Her name's been kept out of reporting, and so I'm just going to call her Ann, because that's my middle name.
There you go.
Ann picked him up from work and gave him a ride home. This is what they would do. This is their routine. He did not drive, and so it's a little, the reporting was a little, some people said they were dating. Some people said they were just best friends, but they talked a lot. She always gave him rides to and from work, and they hung out a lot.
You said at 22?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 22. And so Ann picked him up, gave him a ride home. After she dropped him off, they were in contact, texting back and forth until 11:30 p.m. that night, okay? And he had also posted on Facebook. He posted on Facebook a lot. So, like I said, it was kind of unknown what relationship we were dealing with here, but very close friends. Later that night, 12:30 a.m., he was picked up from his house by another girl. Her name has also not been reported, so we're going to call her Bree, because I was watching Desperate Housewives earlier. Bree picked him up, and they were seen on a security camera at a gas station at 2:37 a.m.
Whoa.
Okay? And so they went to her house after this in King, Wisconsin. King is like 28 minutes away from Wautoma. I should have Google creeped King. I didn't, but it probably doesn't have as much as Wautoma had to offer. So at 3:28 a.m., he called Ann, his friend, and arranged for her to pick him up for work the next morning. So she talked to him on the phone, and he's like, I have to work at 10 a.m., and she's like, okay, I'll give you a ride.
So she was awake at 3:20 a.m.?
Apparently. I don't know. I would have been ticked if anyone called me at 3:20 a.m.
And is she supposed to pick him up at his house or like his other friend's house?
I believe he would walk to her house, and then she would give him a ride to work was their plan. And so he said, like, I have to work at 10, so I'll be there.
He's going to be back home next to the Piggly Wiggly. Okay.
Apparently he's just absolutely not planning on sleeping at all tonight because, like, 12:30 he gets picked up from Bree. Then they're seen at 2:37 at this gas station security camera. At 3:28 a.m. is when he called to arrange his ride to work the next day. At 4:15 a.m. he received a text. He sent a text at 4:15 a.m. and then at 5:15 a.m. he had received one, but it was never opened. So, like, literally right at an hour. 4:15 he sent a text. At 5:15 he received one, but that one was never opened. Okay. So according to Bree, she told police that he left the house her house in King at 8 a.m. His last phone ping was at 9 a.m. and it was still in King at 9 a.m. and he had to be at work at 10 a.m.
Wait a minute. That's a problem.
Yeah. And so he's supposed to be back to work or back in Watoma to be at work at 10 a.m. And so his phone pinged at 9 a.m. So obviously, like, the plans were awry. They were not working.
Right.
He never showed up for his to Anne's house for his ride that day. And then he no-called, no-showed to work the next day for 10 a.m. He
obviously never looked at his phone at, like, before 5 a.m.
Yeah. But it was still on because it pinged at 9 a.m.
Yeah, sketchy.
Yes. He also never went and collected his last paycheck. He could have picked up his last paycheck. He never did that. So police have done many interviews regarding this case. It's still a very active case. Like I said, it's only 4 years old. It is clear that he spent a lot of time that night with Bree. However, what's not clear to police is if they were alone or not. Bree has never made it clear if it was just him and her that night or if there were other people at her house.
Sketchy.
Yes. Bree says that the last time that she saw him was when he walked out of her house at 8 a.m. However, the problem with that is that how was he planning on getting back to Watoma? It would have taken him, well, first of all, it was March in Wisconsin, so we're talking like in the 20s.
Sure.
And snow was on the ground.
Yeah, and he couldn't walk that long.
It would have been a 5-hour walk back to his house.
No chance.
It would have been an 8-hour walk back to work.
Yeah.
Because he didn't live by his work.
No chance.
So, yeah. Obviously, neither of these were likely with how cold it was out. So why did he leave the house on foot that night? It was basically the police.
I mean, that sounds like, that morning.
Or that morning, yeah.
And that does not sound like...
No, not the plan that he obviously had.
Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it, Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com.
So early on, police got a tip that Jake was spotted in Appleton. Appleton is a city like 45 minutes away from King. And apparently he did have like some friends and family connections there. They were able to like go to the bus stop that he was reported being seen at, pull a security camera, and they ruled that out and said like the surveillance footage, like it wasn't actually him.
Huh.
In the first few months after he disappeared, they got a search warrant to search Bree's house in Keene. Obviously, good for them. Seems like the next logical step. They dug some in the ground. And they went through the inside. They also used cadaver dogs. However, police will not say, they say due to keeping the integrity of the case, which we hear that a lot in cases, they will not release what they found or didn't find at the house in King.
Okay.
Which is frustrating, but we get it.
I'm like, they found something.
Probably, maybe, but not enough because nobody's been arrested.
Just the fact they found something, though.
They will not say what they did or did not.
I know, but it makes me think they found something.
Yeah, when they say they didn't. Yeah, I agree. So apparently there was a small town rumor going around. You know, I love a small town rumor. This one's not a good one though. People were talking, and police got wind of it because so many people were talking about it, that Jake was killed with a shovel and dismembered. No idea. They have no idea where it came from, and police have spoken publicly about this, and they said they do not feel like it's true. Like there's no merit to this rumor. I don't know why they think that, but apparently they were confident enough to be like, no. There was also a rumor that his disappearance was linked to another disappearance. There was a 27-year-old man named Chad Anderson who went missing from a town 9 miles away 1 month after Jake went missing. However, his remains were found in August. Jake went missing in March. In April, Chad went missing, and then Chad was found that August, and his death was ruled a suicide, and police have said there's absolutely no connection to that, even though everybody speculated that there was a connection.
I mean, you would. Yeah. You would.
Oh,
like, that close together, like, you would.
Yeah.
But.
So what is it going to take to find him? Police have said, very publicly, multiple times, that there's a small group of people that know exactly what happened, and it is going to take cooperation from them.
Sounds like
they have said
Bree was not alone that night.
It sounds as they have said they have evidence, but not enough to arrest anyone yet. And they said that this small group of people knows exactly what happened to Jake that night. The police have said that they think it was an accident. They think that some accident had happened, and that drugs were involved, and that there was a cover-up because they were afraid of the police because of the drugs. Jake was a former addict. That is like something that needs to be said, I guess, too. He was an addict, but he was on like recovery. He was a recovering addict. His family said he was getting his life back together. He was working, living on his own, but he had been involved in drugs in the past. And so I think that's why police think that like somehow drugs were involved and this
things went bad,
was, like covered up, something went bad. Yeah. His family is extremely involved. There is a Facebook page that gets updated every single month that says like 4 years in 1 month, 4 years in 2 months, and they just update and they post pictures and just begging any sort of small. They basically, everybody involved knows that they just need one piece.
Man, that's frustrating to be so close.
To shake it loose and get one person to say something to find out where John is, or where Jake is, where his body is, and what happened to him that night. And that's all the family wants. They just want to bring his body home, and they want to know. They're offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest, or for information that leads to the location of his body.
Wow.
The investigators say that it will likely come one day from a very small select group of people. So
wow.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, that town is so stinking small.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that these people know.
Like, we always talk about, like, in Greentown, you're like 2 connections from knowing everybody. Like,
yeah.
It like, geez, man. I mean.
So, John was 22 years old when he disappeared. He would be 26 today. Both of his ears and his tongue are pierced. He has a small scar on his left eyebrow. He had some tattoos. He was last seen wearing a dark blue or black hooded sweatshirt with a Nike logo on it and jeans. He had a gray sock hat that he wore all the time. He had a drawstring backpack he was wearing, and a gray Columbia jacket. Police are asking if you know something about that night, if you saw something about that night. Come forward. They say no tip is too small because they're pretty sure that they are one very small tip away from being able to use the evidence that they have and put somebody in jail or get somebody to pay for what happened here and to just find him and bring the family closure. I mean, that's all they want. And he, like I said, his mom and his aunt and his parents, like everybody is really active in it. And they just ask that you call the sheriff's office at 715-258-4466. And this is one of those cases that, like, we always say, someone knows something, but this one is like a true, like, there is one person out there in Watoma, Wisconsin, or King, Wisconsin, that knows exactly what happened to Jake that night and knows exactly where he is right now.
Whew. Man, I mean, sounds like there's more than one person.
Small group of people. Like, at least one person in that little town.
Just gotta crack that, man.
Maybe somebody standing beside you at the Piggly Wiggly. Jeez, somebody knows what happened to Jake Morgan, and they need to say it.
And that's so, like, recent.
Yeah, I thought 4 years ago.
Like, man.
Yeah, they're there. They are there right now in Wisconsin, and they know.
Wow.
Someone knows.
Someone knows something. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is something I never thought I would do. You want to know my secret? Hiring a cleaning company. Like, who does that? I never thought I would say that I'm going to have my house clean for me, but in this season of life with young kids and sports and work and side hustles, I had to decide how I wanted to spend my free time, and cleaning was not on that list. Stanley Cleaning Company has given me my free time back. They come once a month and they sweep and mop my entire house and clean my bathrooms for me, and let me tell you, it is my favorite day of the month. Coming home to a sparkling clean house and knowing that I just saved 3+ hours of my time to spend with my kids is such a mental health game changer for me. It doesn't matter who from their team comes, they leave my house shining. And the best part is it's affordable. Christine offers an a la carte menu. You can do a general or a deep cleaning, just a sweep and a mop. You can do once a month or every week, a spring cleaning or a pre-party clean. She even has a postpartum mom clean that happens while you're in the hospital having your baby, and I can attest to that. It is amazing. Give them a call today for a free quote, and I promise it will be the best self-care you can imagine. You can find them on Facebook at Stanley Cleaning Company, or you can give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606.